like being a nerd. The peak was 2010. That was the peak. Like you literally, like our older age group, you literally will walk into like a bookstore and see kids now really engage with Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's the coolest shit. Like I seen a batch of like teeny boppers literally inquiring about the new Dungeons and Dragons set or the next map or something like that. And I was like, out in the open, in public.
That's true. Hate your face. I definitely agree with you on that. As far as taking it, being called a nerd is a compliment. I would definitely take that. But there are some people, some young kids, that actually do not accept it as a compliment. They might take it as an insult, and that's what this particular segment is about. It's about empowerment. It's about accepting what you are and being like, well, you know what? It is what it is. Screw you. What else is there? Bullying is another part of the segment. It's being able to take that power back away from the bullies. So, what else do they have to say? Nothing. That's the whole point. You know, kids' minds are so fragile that when it comes to you telling them the smallest thing, it'll shatter them.
Yeah, the easiest bullying comments, besides like being a bookworm and liking cartoons or anime, the easiest is body shaming or
Mm-hmm.
parental discourse like, oh, God forbid a kid knows that you're going through a divorce, or you don't even have to. Basically, like, oh, your mommy and daddy don't love you.
Yep.
Traumatizing. So
Yep.
it's a lot of easy pinpoints. So more people have been bullied, but not a lot of people have been bullied. The only people that have been really bullied for being a nerd were like early days 70s Star Trek fans and the early days Star Wars fans. So like 70s, 80s kids were bullied on that fandom shit. So those early day families, like basically Trekkies crawled for us to walk. So
Yeah,
it was
but
like,
it's still going on today, bro. I know a little boy right now, and he's probably watching, and he had to deal with that BS the other day. And to me, it's just like it's so painful. It's just like you like what you like, and you're being made fun of because you like what you like. Yo, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's unfortunate that he's going through that right now, but it's like he should be not like he's fortunate enough that our community has vastly gone deeper. So there are clubs, there is communities, there is group chats, there is support help and support groups of like basically a league of fellow nerds like you and me, and our like our following and our groups like basically we're like an iron shield of like we do not tolerate bullying in any way, shape, or form. But even if you are bullied and called a nerd and a geek, whatever the kid likes and finds, like, hey, I'm a super big Star Wars fan, everything about it from the Star Wars animated series to everything on beyond and watched everything. There's a whole group, community support, help group, fan cosplay, LARPing, Star Wars fandom, like group chat channel, meetup clicks, like
Mm-hmm.
you can practically find it out there. Anything under the goddamn sun, from an Inuyasha fan base to a Sailor Moon fan base, but
Mm-hmm.
but with all those fan bases, we all have a unified agreement on like we can't cut at like we don't cut ass on each other from us being a nerd. We just know that we are the nerds and we are the community. We have the community say so because we nerds are everywhere in like entertainment and have an opinion and a say so. We're the comic book enthusiasts. We're the ones fact checking and keeping all the receipts on like what's accurate, what isn't accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we shame normies more than anything.
Yeah, it's
Basic,
true. It's true. It's just that little ones need to know that you have nothing to be ashamed of, and to know, like you're just talking and bringing it up. There's so many, Geo. There are so many nerds out here, man. All the superheroes that you watch in movies that you think are cool, they're all nerds. So don't feel any particular type of way ever. All right? Yeah, man.
Yeah, so like I said, the peak of
True. Very true. Some kids are just straight mean, and
oh yeah,
they
they're
love to
assholes.
hurt. They love to go after anything to hurt the kids. And we as adults, we need to step in. Yeah, I mean, the kids have to be able to stand up for themselves. But we as the parents, I'm not a parent, but we as the parents, we have to empower them. Empower them. You know, we have to empower them to
And
know that they have somebody besides themselves that's there for them. You understand what I mean? Do not be afraid. Do not feel like you don't have nobody. Be strong.
yeah, so going further into bullying, we can get into the consequences or the lack of consequences of accountability for bullying. So basically, go from like the bullies to the victims to hell, school shootings and real life consequences and real life disasters, like suicide. Um, Bullying is now today a felony offense once you prove it, and you get facts and prove it. Also, cyberbullying took the major headway because now bullying is more covert and more sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you went to school, when we went to school, all your bullying was at school. It didn't follow you home. But now with cyberbullying, it follows you everywhere.
Yeah.
It's on the internet.
Yeah.
It's when you go home in your safe space, but you go online because you don't have the right to be on the internet. But now you have your bullies following you at home on the internet, tormenting you on the webpage. But they say like, oh, just turn off the computer. I'm like, but it's your free right to use the internet however you see fit, and you want to make friends and go in group chats. But then when you have the whole school domino effect of cutting your ass and making fun of you, then it's traumatizing because you're like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But then it leads into the disastrous effect of either one, suicide, two, shooting up a school, three, I I didn't even have the internet and I fucking snapped. Okay, so my level of snapness, I would rate it on a school shooting because I don't fucking remember. I raged out. I don't know what happened.
I mean, after a while of being bullied consistently over and over again, it's just something that's going to happen. A person can take but so much before they snap. But what you have to do is you have to realize, hey, I need to talk to somebody. So the minute that it happens, go to your teacher.
Yeah.
Go to them, tell them,
Oh,
hey, this is going
glad,
on. This person's bothering
glad you
me.
brought that up. Glad you brought that up
You
because
know,
now we get into
go to
faculty
the
administration.
regardless of
Fac-
what. Tell them. Tell your
Faculty
mom.
administration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what do you do when faculty administration is because even before I snapped, I had an incident before I snapped. I was bullied before. Tell me how my principal suspended me and my bully when my bully was picking on me
Mm-hmm.
and I got suspended from school because they falsely thought that I started the fight because I was so they body discriminated against me and body shamed me because I was two times bigger than my bully. So they thought that I started it. But then he fessed up and said like, yeah, I kind of started it. And then he just suspended both of us. I tell the teacher, like again, faculty members don't really do anything. Or they give a little bully a slap on the wrist and say, oh,
Well,
don't do it again.
well, if that's the case, and you see, the first step is to go and tell the teacher, right? Because they're with you 99% of the day. But if the teacher does absolutely nothing, what you have to do is you have a lot of kids nowadays have a cell phone. Take your book bag, go into the bathroom, and call your mother. Call your mother, call whomever. Gio, if you call me, I will cut off my job right away and come for you. I will get off of work and come for you. You do not have to worry about it. But you have to contact somebody. You have to call somebody. You have to let them know. Mom, whomever, I tried my best. I called my teacher. I did this. Nobody's doing anything. This person is being really, really mean to me for whatever reason. And it's just like, I can't do anything else. I need your help. And then I'm going to come in like Batman. I swear to you, I'll come in like Batman or Superman, however you want to put it. And I got you.
Hey, hey, to keep it a stack, like those will be the real life consequences because there has been a recent set of parents who don't play that shit and they will pull up to a school real quick and whoop a kid's ass. And my mom did it because my bully threatened me to be at the corner at 3 o'clock. I told my mom's like, yo, the bully and the set of other kids was waiting to jump me at 3 o'clock at the corner. She pulled up in her SUV like minutes later and said, oh, meet me outside. I'll pick you up. Pulled
Mm-hmm.
up. It was like December, snow on the ground. I was at the corner. Bully came a block away, like, "Oh, hey you," and he was like coming right away. But my mom was like right behind him down the street, and she honked her horn, stopped the car, didn't even put it in park. Just skirt, pulled up, grabbed my bully, yanked him by the collar, threw him in the snow. Niggas at the corner store just sitting there watching the whole time, watching the shit go down, was laughing.
Mm-hmm.
My mom whooped my bully's ass, told me to get in the car, and just pulled off and sped off. she
Yes.
did a drive by. She did a drive by ass with me. Like whooped his ass, told me to get in the car, and she sped off real quick. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so like we have today current parents, and even like our age, like millennials having kids. So literally, currently now we still have an issue, but we have now parents, more cases of parents pulling up to schools, whooping kids' asses for cases of bullying. So, am I against it? No, not really, because it has to be real life consequences. Because
But the thing
most,
is, you see, the school can't even come at the parent because the kid already told you, hey, so and so is going on. So and so is messing with me. I need your help. Do something. The teacher sweeps the kid under the rug. Maybe the parents have money, whatever the case may be. But I'm coming to you. I'm telling you what it is. You're not doing anything. I'm going to get my mama. My mama coming to whoop everybody ass. And there's nothing that you or that person could do. You had the opportunity. A lot of parents will tell you, I am crazy. Do not come after my kid, or I will come after you. You know what I mean? And that's what it
a hair is
is.
harmed on my a hair is harmed on my kid. That's your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
and I'm the same with my godson and I got a niece. I'm the uncle, and I got godkids, and I'm the same because I go into like that whole mental mind split, like fucking Gohan with the red line, going Super Saiyan level 2 when the like the minute I hear or get a phone call saying, "Oh, something happened to my niece or my godson or my godkid," I'm like, I'm the first one to pull up. Like, I may be the nice one, but don't fuck with the nice one.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's like it's
that's
so
how it goes down,
it is
man.
so and it's so bad that like I have a brother, I have a younger brother, because like me and my brother are totally split opposite. Because my brother, street kid, street dude, hood dude. He like my mom came up to school for either one of us. It was like she came up to school for me because I was being bullied, but she went up to school for him because he was practically bullied and getting into fights and scrapes with kids. So it's like we're two total opposites. But then it was like my mom was like, yeah, I have a son, I have a younger son who
Yes,
will
Cam.
be about that action. But then she's worried about me because like she does not know how I will react when shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
She is fearful of the fact that the minute you cross that line with me, all bets are off. It's
Yep.
like
Yep.
and even my
Absolutely.
and even my younger brother said it's like my younger brother is like he's the quickest pop off hood dude. Like yeah, my brother made it loud and like you already know how he's gonna act, but my family knows that they don't know how I'm going to react.
And that's the scary part.
Oh yeah, and I'm worried about myself because I'm like, yeah, that's true. I can't even tell you how I'm going to react. I can't tell you.
Mm.
So it's bad enough that you don't know, but it's even worse that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because when it
basically,
comes to my own, I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm crazy. I will take a kid, flip a kid upside down. I don't give a shit. I'll throw the kid through the wall. You messing with mine, that's a problem. And I don't even have kids. I have nieces and nephews. Imagine if I had my own. It's not happening. But imagine if I had my own.
yeah. So we're dealing with a generation of parents now, us, that lived through that torment, lived through that trauma. We got kids now and nieces and nephews, Yeah, we're really risking to go to jail. Like we don't go to jail today. Like we are the
I'm
ones who
not going to
we will
jail.
get
I
us.
didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm defending my kid. My kid can't defend themselves. So you tell my kid they can't fight, they can't this, they can't that. Giovanni, if anybody puts their hand on you, you rip them a new one. Just saying. You rip them a new one. You do not stop until somebody comes and pulls you away from the other person. I'm not really advocating violence. It's more so
Sorry, excuse me.
you establishing yourself and your right to live and your right to have fun and your right to go to school. You deserve the right to go and get an education and enjoy yourself. You've been out of school just like every other kid has been out of school for like a whole year. And now you have the opportunity to go back and you have these kids coming at you stupid. First day. That's a problem, bro. Hopefully this kid will not do it again. But if it just so happens that it goes down, get ready. Yes, Candace. It's not happening. Me having a kid is not happening. But yeah.
But yeah, so it's like um, going back to that spiel of now we're in 2021. Yes, bullying is more covert, and kids can be just straight up assholes for whatever the reason, to being their natural born assholes, devious kids, to trouble parents and house settings. We won't know until we know. But like we have to figure that out. And the parents have to straighten that out. And if they don't straighten it out, they're bully little terror type that go to jail, prison, or get someone else severely bodily harmed. But they undermine this whole thing. They've been undermining it for literally too long. But yes, now I can say that yeah, bullying in New York or anywhere else is a part of the offense and how they made bullying. Because a lot of kids have committed suicide to the point where they had to do something, or there's been too many Columbine school shootings, and there's still school shootings going on to this very day. Hell, the only time we had peace of where there was no school shootings was when COVID hit and the shutdown there. Sad to say, like it literally took a whole virus to prevent school shootings to keep niggas home. So, not like as a coin and joke, but just like that's really sad to realize that the only time there was really no mass school shooting at all was when COVID hit. And then now school's slowly about to open, and
Hmm.
it's like, is it going to happen again? Are we going to have another school shooting? Because we're keeping count of it slowly. But,
I mean, it's also the factor that when the kid lashes out, the kid could lash out any particular type of way. Majority of the time is devastating. It could be doing something to themselves or doing something to the other person. When it came to the kid, I think it was in what was it, the Bronx, and he came and he step up everybody in the school. Remember that one?
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
most of black, well, in proximity, most black and brown schools, they just have stabbings because
yeah, but what I'm
you
saying is
can't really
that
bring a gun to school.
what I'm saying is this particular one, that was the one that stabbed up everybody in the school, right? Okay. So this kid in particular was being bullied for a period of time. Like a period of time. And when I read the story said that the kid went, stated, this is what's going on, this is what's going on. Nobody did anything. The teachers didn't do anything. The principal didn't do anything. I don't even think the parents really did anything. And then the kid was just like, okay. It got to the point where the kid took a knife, brought the knife to school. When the kid brought the knife to school, the kid decided to go crazy. He snapped. He was like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. It should never get to that point. It should be the minute that the situation happens, you nip it right then and there. And once you nip it right then and there, everything will, eventually get better. hopefully, God's willing, either you get taken out of the class or the bully gets taken out of the class, or there's some form of mediation between your parents and the kid's parents. And if it just so happens that the kid's parents is a bunch of douchebags, then it's time to throw down. I don't care. And then when the cops come through, you're like, listen, so and so and so. Bullying is is a felony, if I'm not mistaken. It's something that could actually get you in trouble with the law. So,
They, yeah, I mean, like, am I for kids getting felony records at the age of 11, 12? Well, that, no, because felony records will literally destroy your whole life and going further. And, you know, you should have a chance to redeem yourself and fix your shit. Because, like, once you get that felony record on your name, all bets are off. You know how felony records be out there.
but
Like,
that may be the truth. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna say this: I'd rather you deal with whatever you have to deal with, your whatever repercussions you ensue, rather than my child having to deal with that BS every single day of his life.
it's true.
Every single day of my life, I relive being bullied from the age of 6. I am 34 years old, and I still remember the kid's name. I remember his name, I remember a set of them. And all they did was terrorize me when I was little. And then when I went to high school, I went through something very similar. Thanks to a friend of mine that actually stepped in, those two bullies left me alone. And I confronted the principal and everything of that nature, and I told him so and so. And he came up to me one day and he said, listen, it will never happen again. And I guarantee you, from that day to the day I graduated, those two guys never bothered me again. But the thing is, you have to step in. If you see somebody being bullied, well, Gio, mind your business, Joe. But if you see somebody getting bullied and you could actually do something about it, do something about it. If you're the one being bullied, say something. Always say something. Never be afraid. Oppression. There's no reason to be oppressed. You're too young. There's no reason for it. Yes, it's a felony. I don't know. Bro, you were saying something. I just was going with the feed just now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, like, now the ultimate consequences for bullying, which sadly has to happen now, the ultimate consequence now is you're going to get this felony record if you don't change your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it has to be. It's just that now there's a drastic, more dire consequence instead of just like, oh, you go to UV or you do the little XYZ, little slap on the wrist. Now the gloves is coming off the bullies because too many parents, too many complaints, too many deaths, too many suicides, too many school shootings that happen to where the bully still gets us scot-free. So if you've been a bully for all this time and have not really suffered the repercussions yet, and now this whole record will really make you suffer the consequences. That now, long term, it's going to derail you from getting a job. It's going to derail you
Absolutely.
from being a progressive member in society that you really fuck everybody else's shit up. So now you get your ownership. So now you got this on record attached to your name for bullying.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck trying to get your life straight now with this on record. Because it had to have to be a serious consequence for bullies. Because it's like, cyberbullying, there was no answer for it, and even bullying, overbullying, there was no answer for it. And the immediate human answer was fight back, shoot up the school, stab up the school. Like the person really had to snap to have a serious consequence. We're like tired of punishing the victim for snapping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the next thing. You, the one that are being bullied, you dealing with the consequences that you are being bullied. If that made any sense. Somebody comes to you, you go to school, you're wherever, you're doing what you gotta do. Then this person comes. When this person comes, you have no quarrel with them. But for whatever reason, they feel the desire to come after you, to make your life feel like hell. And then afterwards, they decide that they're going to do whatever to you. You said something, nothing happens, they lash out at you. I mean, you lash out at them. Once you lash out at them, you're in trouble. But
You
I
know,
just told you all this time that this kid was doing so and so to me. And you're perfectly content and okay with it. But when I finally do something that you decided that you weren't gonna do, I'm in trouble.
hmm like, oh,
There
you
was
shouldn't
times I
act.
was blamed for shit I didn't even do.
Like,
I'm
oh, you
gonna be
shouldn't
dead
have acted like
ass.
that. Oh, you shouldn't have took it to that level. Oh, you monster! Why did you take it that far? Like, and then you look at him like, what,
Then again, you gotta
what?
also remember, I'm sorry to put it in there, but it's the truth. I was a black kid in a predominantly white school. All my teachers, all my principal, they were all white. This is the early 90s, early mid 90s, 1996, 1990, whatever. So and I went to a Catholic school, making it even worse. So anything I said, I was the devil. Everything. But the the Caucasus, everything was okay with them. They did no wrong.
This shit is funny. So it's like, yes,
I'm sorry if I'm bringing you to a bad place, bro.
no, it's not so much a bad place. I can really talk about this type of time frame in my life now, like at ease and at peace, because I made peace with the past and everything else. But it's a lot to unpack, you know, tackling it from different sections. Like, okay, current modern bullying versus old school bullying. Or the kid needs to learn how to defend themselves. So it's like, why should a kid have to
Hate
fight
your
like a
face.
brother?
Thank you for the ad. Go on,
And it's
brother.
like, so like, why are we subjecting these kids to be in a wild animal zoo mental mentality of like survival of the fittest? And you're just trying to learn what's two plus two, but then you're going to like end up fighting a bully and scrapping people at like 2 o'clock. Like, how is that stimulating your educational mindset?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you send your kid to school to learn, not survive.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. It was just like I couldn't really focus on it. So I went from an honor roll kid to basically surviving day to day. I didn't know when the next person was gonna jump me, call me something out of my name. I had like basically, bro, my middle school was so bad that literally fights would just break out in the middle of the hallway. I have fourth period math class trying to get past this sea of people in the hallway and a fight break out. Dude punched this chick in the face, just two-pieced her shit. I was on my way to math class. It was a whole fight that broke out. I don't know what led to that, but seeing that,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, how was I going to focus on school? How was I going to focus on my education? Seeing literally niggas getting jumped and false claiming game sets in school and threatening to beat your ass every other day or calling you out your name. And he's like, that's not a stable school environment for kids. And we all know this. All educators know this. All parents know this. All non-elite school parents and kids know this. Because at least if you go to an elite school, parents with the money don't pay that shit. And
Yeah.
also with political status and power. So most of those parents don't pay that shit. And sometimes, even if you go to an elite school, sometimes it won't be like survival because sometimes little Billy Badass with parents with a lot of rich money and power would create a potential bully
Mm-hmm.
out of it. But I'm saying like for the bottom rung public school, poor private school kids, it's like we're basically like Lord of the Flies, just survival of the fittest. So how can you focus on schoolwork when teachers that are underpaid, understaffed, have to focus on 20 other kids, a fight breaks out, someone got stabbed with a pencil, some kids crying, they can't, like by the end of the period of the class, you didn't learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. So it's just like no one should be subjugating their kids on a it's about school.
You're
You're
right.
supposed to learn.
You're supposed to learn and you're supposed to enjoy it. That's the next big thing. You're supposed to be able to enjoy going to school, regardless of what. Because if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be boring and you're going to be like, well, what's the point of going to school? Besides, your future. Being able to do the things that you want to do. Being able to buy the things you want to buy. The cars you want. The house you want. All the comics you want, Gio. All of that requires money. Hard work. And the only way you could accomplish that is through an education. Always remember that. Never be afraid. Take a leap of faith, so to speak.
So like, and so like the next best thing is I would advocate homeschool. Like I know a lot of people are embracing homeschooling, but now you seem to see commercials with the new K through 12 online schooling, which is great. Also, it's a little hard because the average working parent is not home homeschooling to watching a kid be homeschooled, and they send them to school to learn. Then they know like the drastic consequences the kid could potentially really try to survive the day. Or hopefully the teachers would step in and stop bullying to teach a good quality education. And then that falls on the teacher's responsibility, extra being the secondary parent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of avenues to tackle of like if you homeschool them, if you're home long enough, within your time frame to homeschool them long enough, cool, you can do it. And it's still a good quality education. At least they're getting the one-on-one lessons of learning specifically guided for them.
I mean, for me, it's just like I don't have kids. Once again, as everybody, for the most part, knows. But a kid needs to be able to go to school and needs to be able to socialize. You know what I mean? They need to be able to do whatever they need to do. Just like parents need the opportunity to go to work. They need the opportunity to zen, so to speak. And while their kid is in school, they need a little bit of time for themselves. Because handling children is not easy. This pandemic situation, having the kids at home, yes, it's a blessing because we know exactly where your little behind is. And we love you. We care about you. But we need a little bit of time to gather ourselves, you know? And to have it where you're in school, that's good. Now, when it comes to this whole bullying situation, that is we pretty much touch based on everything. Everything that could possibly be done, everything that could be changed, whatever. So, that being the case, let's just move forward. Just move forward. Just talk. Open your mouth. You know something I realized, bro? Us being nerds, we never addressed the issue. We never confronted the issue right then and there. Because if we did, it would have been a different situation. I think, possibly.
With the bullying issue.
Yeah. Maybe if we would have said something. Maybe if we screamed at the top of our lungs. I don't know. We went directly, right after the teacher he said whatever, we went directly to the teacher and we told the teacher what was going on. Maybe things might have been different.
In my case, I did say because like my mom knew. My mom knew every time that she dreaded me going to school. Yeah, I could switch schools, and still said something. It was like, "No bullies versus me." And if my teachers did something, yeah, it would stop the bullying. And that day, the whole Twinkie thrown in my face, and there was nothing that my teacher could have really done about that. Like everybody's seen it in the district on that class.
Hmm.
There's, there was nothing ducking about that situation. So, my mom knew everything, and there were times where I would dead skip school. Like I would skip middle school, and my mom would just let me stay home, just to like not go for a day or 2 days.
Mhm.
like when I didn't feel like going to school. So my mom tried her best to mediate the situation, and I told her that my mom whooped one of my bully's ass one day. So I was like, my mom done the best she could to like step in and prevent, and to the point where like it exhausted my mom to like getting phone calls every other end of the week, or every
Mhm.
other week, or every other 2 days out of the week for my bullying situation. And the faculty administration now know that I'm the bully target picked on kid, and now they all know. But then it's like when it happens, sometimes I tell, sometimes it gets worse to where they know, or I just don't tell anybody at all because the situation is the same to where tomorrow I might get bullied worse or get bullied again. And then I get sent to the principal's office or just sent into the principal's office or be separated from being on the school grounds. So it was just every other day it was something. So it's like from my situation with bullying, I everybody everybody including my mom was like I was just being. And like I said, if I could have went to a different school, they said it would most likely be the same again. Like,
Mhm.
at every other school, they were just like, you're just a target to be a bully. Like so, it didn't really help. Like if I was really gonna, if like my mom really put in the effort to transfer me to a different school midway through, I don't know how I would handle it because if I really did all that work to transfer to a different school just to get bullied again by a whole other set of people, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I hear you. I was just saying that maybe not just our parents. Maybe if you said something to the teachers, something.
I'll teach it.
Maybe things might have changed a little bit. I'm reaching right now. I know I'm reaching.
Yeah, because after middle school, I like when I went to high school, I really dreaded going to high school. Like I was like fearful of going to high school and going to a public high school. Like I really dreaded it because I could be bullied in high school. That was my ultimate thing. And my mom, once I graduated, my mom went out of her way to find a new high school, brand new high school, just started, just opened up. Basically, a high school with no year-long credentials or preset clicks bullshit going on.
Mhm.
so, so that was the best that my mom could have done for me was that she found a high school for me, fresh out the gate, no test required. Starting, they was just admitting all students who was trying to get in. And most of the students in my high school was from the former middle school, which they like built it, which they built a high school for. So um, the faculty at my high school talked to us first opening orientation, and they let us as the students dictate, basically set the ground rules. And we all met each other, said, "Hey, this is new high school. We're all new here. Um, what is our big deal breakers of basically rule setting for the whole going forward into the high school semester?" And we all unanimously said, surprisingly, this made me be more open to that. We all unanimously said no bullying.
Mhm.
I still remember my orientation day in high school. It was just like we were progressive. We did not like being bullied, so we all know what it feels like to be bullied. We didn't want to be bullied. We didn't want to be bullied by anybody. And yeah, we got along most of the days. And there would be those days because we're all high schoolers with prepubescent minds and angst, and our wires are not fully connected in high school. So there were little fights here and there. There were little disagreements here and there, like going into my high school. But other than that, we we all are surprisingly close on Facebook. Like I know all my high school friends, like my whole graduating class, and we're like that close on Facebook and other social media and everything else. So we and I am grateful for having that connection and that high school experience with them. So for anybody that's out there, yes, please tell teachers and please tell your parents and friends and everybody knows. But it really takes a system to ensure that your kids are safe and have a no tolerance for bullying. and also internet online bullying, especially for cyberbullying. You really need to inform someone because now it is a felony for anybody being caught bullying and have proof online. But then again, it's like all these social media avenues from like making fake accounts and you know the cops can't trace it back if they really do the time and diligence to do it. Like TikTok and Snapchat can be deleted.
They actually do that. I've been on situations where they will actually ask the person, do they have a this account, that account, and then if the person says yes, that I actually have printouts. They have printouts of the conversations between this individual and the person that's being bullied, and they'll talk about it, and the cops will do whatever they feel that they can do at the moment, especially if this situation could lead to a hostile problem, so to speak. Some kids are really screwed up. Really, really screwed up.
Yeah, so it's like we so it's like it just takes a real big system and a network and also due diligence and really hold bullying, acts of bullying, or the bully accountable. And it's like you really have to teach and show accountability and consequences for these types of things. And teachers can't and faculty members cannot be half-assed doing it. I know it's stressful because our public school education budgets have been constantly being clipped and people are being cut, and teachers are being overwhelmed to do their job, like teach their lessons and teach disciplines and respect and care and things like what these kids. Some of the parents are doing when you teach your kids like basically ingrain it to them at home because it
Mm-hmm.
starts at home. Going
Mm-hmm.
forward in school, and it's home at school. So then you go back home and it's home at home.
Mm-hmm.
So your growth level is back and forth from school and home, and other social camps and recreational programs. And then also plus seeing these kids outside of the authoritative role, outside of authority, that's scary, bro. Like so outside of authority is like these kids can be reckless. And instead like outside of authority eyes, it's like yeah, they just go raw out because they act one way in front of authority, but then like in
And
their own freedom space, they act different.
it's like they do a total 360. Absolutely. And if anything, they'll turn it on you and say, once the thing is going on, you were the cause of the whole situation. It's all your fault. You know? It's all
Because
your
like,
fault.
because like you can't watch a kid's 20%. Nobody really can. Like nobody's gonna motivate these kids 15% when they step out of line and act out of line. Because that goes into like hyper surveillance and hyper discipline and hyper authoritative control and discipline. And it's like it's like damn, it's like what can you do and really work for a certain kid to really work through.
Yeah. Um, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure he got the gist. I don't even know if he's still here anymore, Gio. I don't know if he's still here. But, if you're down for it, I'm down for it to play some aliens. We haven't done this in a while.
Sure.
Okay. So give me like 5 minutes. I need to go use the bathroom. I come back. We boot up our systems. We play a little bit. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a short stream today. I don't think it's gonna be that long. Because I know you got school also. Alright?
So, yeah, you got class 8. Got class 8.
Yeah, but it gives you a chance to, get yourself together and whatever. So I'm gonna step away for right now and come back
Okay.
and we do what we gotta do.
Okay, good.
Alright, man.
me this time?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Got my leaf water, so I'm ready.
Hey everybody.
Hello.
Hey Masuki, how are you?
Uh, okay.
Alright. Anybody else here?
I know Bionic is here and Segment. Ooh,
That's me.
hello.
Hello, Miss
Hey,
Deidre. We have
hey.
the
Deidre?
voluptuous Miss Deidre. Hello.
Wow, I have not seen you in a very long time. How are you?
I'm good. I was trying to be on the thing on the one earlier, but I guess Discord and Twitch decided it hated me today.
I don't
Okay.
understand. I don't understand. But all right, Miss. We had the guys talking about it, so let's have some young ladies addressing the issue. We're talking about bullying and how it made us feel and empowerment for those that are going through it right now. I mean, they haven't gone through it within a year, besides cyberbullying, but now they're actually facing actual physical bullying. Having the bullying in their face, the bully in their face.
Uh, well, it's like cyberbullying. The thing about cyberbullying, honestly, is because like the way I see it, cyberbullies will never have the gall to actually say it in your face because they feel like they're protected by a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's like in face bullying, then like they're only going like they mainly pick on the people that they feel like are weaker than them because it gives them a sense of empowerment and a sense of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like its own thing of like depraved self gratification. And like the whole thing about bullying is just like it's just unnecessary. Like honestly, what do you get out of it? I just don't understand what people get out of purposely being mean to someone else.
Makes himself feel good. It's like a self gratification, or like the dummy's phrase of hurt people, which is actually true, but it's like it's sucky because it's like I was supposed some people get a sick thrill or a sickening joy of other people's misery on top of that. So it's just those two psychological factors of oh, I'm going through my BS, so why don't I just put you through some BS? Or I have a kick sick thrill of like I want to see other people in pain.
Right. Like making somebody else feel smaller somehow makes them feel bigger.
Yeah, but it's just like there are better ways of improving your own self-image without bringing down someone else's. It's just absolutely just abhorrent to me how people can even um, think, oh, I'm going to feel better about myself by making this person feel worse about themselves. Like, I really don't understand. I guess it's just me as an individual, but I can never fully understand why why that's even a thought process for a lot of people. And just like I said yesterday, like yes, there are some people that are like abused at home and they do that, but it's not all of them. And they like take that out and project it onto other people, but it's not all of them.
That's
There
true.
are some that come from very privileged homes, and that's also why, because they're spoiled like hell. They're spoiled brats who feel like they can do whatever they want because in mommy and daddy's eyes they can do no wrong.
That's true.
And that's just absolutely just unbelievably stupid to me.
I mean, it's not even just, privileged children. I mean, people that are in impoverished homes, they feel that they could do whatever the hell they want also. Because in their parents' eyes, they know that, or better yet, they know that when it comes to their parents won't do anything. If anything,
Because the parents care.
the parents are gonna be like, my child didn't do anything. What proof do you have? You know, coming through the school acting like a crazy person, and then it's just like, well, there's nothing we can do about it.
And then it's all fun and games until that person ends up in jail. And I can say that because one of the people that bullied me in high school is doing 25 right now
Mm-hmm.
because he shot somebody. So yeah,
Okay. All right.
that's all I'm saying. Like it's definitely like,
Oh shit, man.
and the worst part is the thing that will always annoy me is that people who are around bullies and
Mhm.
like enable it will blame anyone and everything except for the bully themselves and the parents.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about that before, but yeah.
Like they'll be like, oh, they're blaming like the shows they were watching or like whatever music they were listening to. Oh, and my personal favorite, whatever video games they were playing,
Mm-hmm.
as if playing freaking like Modern Warfare or Rainbow Six Siege is gonna have every single person bring like a sniper or AK-47 to school,
Yep.
which makes no sense because like I've been playing video games my whole life, and I never once thought to bring a gun to school and just like unload it on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like they will blame everyone but themselves. Like, no, that there's seriously something wrong with this kid, and their parents didn't raise them right, and the parents will never want to admit that they screwed up with their kid
Mm-hmm.
because your child is a reflection of you.
That's
And if
true.
your child is out here bullying people and doing all this other crazy stuff, that means you ain't do something right.
That's true.
But they will never admit that. For what reason, I don't know. Because like if I find out my child is bullying somebody, I'm gonna question myself and be like, how did I screw up
Mm-hmm.
to the point where my child feels like he needs to do this to someone else's child?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's something that they see at home. Their parents are bullies themselves, so they're like, well, you know what? This is cool. This is what it's supposed to be. So they bring that home. Rugrats. If you look at Rugrats, you look at Angelica. Look at her mother. Charlotte was the CEO or whatever of the company, and how she used to go about it was she used to bully Drew around. She used to talk to the other parents, however, which type of way. And Angelica saw
And
that.
her assistant. She used to
Jonathan,
literally,
yes.
yeah, she used to literally belittle her assistant all the time.
In front of the child. And
Yeah.
so,
Well,
you guys,
situation
go ahead,
you
Giga.
have with that you had the added bonus of her trying to get everybody else's attention by doing a whole bunch of things because her parents were too busy with in their own lives and in their own bubbles to notice or care what she
You
was
know what?
doing
That's true.
to clean
That
up the mess.
that I can actually give you that because Angelica she was financially spoiled. She was fiscally taken care of, but
Right.
but it's just like the only thing about Charlotte was that she wanted Angelica to basically be a boss just like her.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she forgets the fact that like, yo, that like I have to be a mom before I can be like someone's boss.
Mm-hmm.
So she was emotionally neglected because had her parents actually paid more attention to her, the way that Stu and Dee Dee paid attention to Tommy, and how Chaz paid attention to Chucky, and how Howard and Betty paid attention to the twins, and so forth down the line. She probably wouldn't be that way, and how Susie's parents were on her, because mind you, Susie's father
Mm-hmm.
was an executive producer of a very popular kids show, but she still was emotionally cared for
Very
by
true.
both of her parents, because her parents were rich too. Susie
Mm-hmm.
came from a rich family.
Yes, her mother was a doctor. What was she? A doctor. She
I
was
think
a
she was I think she was a surgeon, if I recall
yes.
correctly.
She was a surgeon. Her father
Was a producer.
was a producer for the Dummy Bears.
Hmm.
So either way, she was perfectly content. She had nothing to worry about,
Exactly.
and she
And
had like how many brothers and sisters?
And I was
exactly. On top, and Angelica was an only child.
Go ahead, Deidre. You were about to say something.
that's one of the main reasons why they were like why Angelica was so antagonistic, because Susie was, not only did she have everything Angelica wanted, that she was just all around better in every every way, and she realized that we also knew and will also have that inferiority complex.
Oh yeah. And that's the one thing about bullies. They will have some type of inferiority complex, and they will have some type of jealousy
Mm-hmm.
towards someone. And the thing is, she knew she couldn't bully Susie.
Right.
Oh,
She
hell to the
couldn't
no, she couldn't.
Yeah, she could not get at Susie, because in her eyes, Susie was better than her.
And
Mm-hmm.
Susie knew
And
this. Well, Susie knew that, but she didn't rub it in her face. She just like, you can't come like she always kept on saying like, oh, I'm rubber banding your glue, but bounce off of me sticks to
sticks
you.
to you. Oh, and mind you, well, to go, that's actually kind of like a reversal spell, but that I digress on that.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's the thing about or the thing is, Susie was also emotionally
Mm-hmm.
intelligent. And she had empathy.
Mm-hmm.
She had empathy, which is why she was seen as like a big sister to all of the other babies, to all of the toddlers, especially Tommy, who
Mm-hmm.
especially Tommy and Chucky, who were only children.
Mm-hmm.
Like Phil and Lil had each other's back. Tommy and Chucky, Tommy was always an only child, and then Dill came out Dill came around sometime later.
Mm-hmm.
So like um, Susie being able to have empathy is what, in Angelica's eyes, made her better than her. And
Mm-hmm.
she knew she couldn't get, and she knew she couldn't top her, which is why she took her anger out on the toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
Because in retrospect, she was a very angry kid, and she did anything and everything just to get attention from adults.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of the times that's what bullies want. They really just want attention. And the only way they feel like they can get attention is by doing something antagonistic. Is
I
it
get the
right?
other babies in
No.
trouble.
Exactly. Is it right? Absolutely not. But that's just how their mind frame is, because if I do something bad, mommy and daddy, they might scold me, but at the very least they're paying attention to me.
She was. Hate Your Face was saying that Susie was very strong, very independent, competitive, and yet she was still humble and caring, which is very true. She pretty much was there. Like, you can't tell her anything, you can't do anything to her because you knew what it was.
Exactly. Because she had that she basically was a child that didn't want for nothing in any aspect.
I'm coming through,
Right.
bro. I'm coming through, Knuckles. I'm coming. I hear
No,
it.
I was saying that yeah, so Susie knew that her dad, like, she was well aware of what her parents did for a living, and yeah, what kid wouldn't be? I mean, like, easily Susie's parents, like, she could have been like easily spoiled and everything, but no, it's like she was happy that Daddy made the most populous TV show of all time for kids, and she got to enjoy that. Like, yeah, my daddy created the gummy bears, and was an executive TV producer. Mommy's a doctor. And it was like, oh, that's cool. Mom's a doctor, but it's like parents were still attentive. That's the key thing. The parents
Yes,
were
that's the big
Exactly.
attentive.
thing.
Like, yeah, mommy and daddy did this, but in their personal time, they always made sure they always had personal time for their kids, and they got more kids than the others combined. They all have one kid. And like, y'all, how's it that Chucky's dad and Tommy's dad was like Tommy's dad was an at-home dad, but he made toys and tried to make toys for a living, and Tommy's mom was the house mom, but trying to like keep the family afloat because who was really paying the bills in the house and grandpa was home.
Okay,
And then
for that one, Dee Dee actually was a teacher also,
yeah,
and when she was not a teacher, they
she was
also were
home.
going. She was home, and Grandpa, because the fact that he was a veteran, he would contribute to the house as much as he could.
Yeah.
And
He
then
was
when it came to
around
Stu,
that age.
whenever Stu actually did something, it was pretty lucrative.
Hmm. Like
Right.
once of his toys, like one toy launched off, and then he made the Reptar car. So once he gets like a lucrative toy deal, then they're Gucci.
Yes.
and then and then Chucky's dad, he works. He's a single dad. He's a single parent. So it's like Chuck. So that's why Chucky and Tommy are practically like brother cousins. Like they always that close because Chucky will be over at Tommy's house because Chucky's dad, like,
Because yeah, basically it seems like after because let's keep it a rag. Chucky's father suffered from depression,
of
Yes.
course,
like really bad depression,
yeah,
and
because his wife died, and he was a single dad raising Chucky by himself. Tried his best to be there for Chucky, attentively, and then he had to work and pay the bills and be in the house and dealing with his passing wife.
yeah,
And so
and
it was
it's
a
not
lot.
like he really had that much money because to be real, like Chucky seemed like he lived in like he was pretty much lower middle class.
Hmm.
Because Chaz
So
was a bureaucrat, from what I remember.
he was a what?
He was a bureaucrat, from what
Yeah,
I
Right.
he
remember.
worked. Yeah, he worked in like politics and office, here and there. So bureaucratic money. It depends on campaign runs and trials. So money was like topsy turvy on a stable income. And then you have Phil and Lil, the twins. They was pretty in the middle, like
Mm-hmm.
decent, well off on the mom on the cafe spot. They wasn't like hurting for nothing. Phil and Lil had each other as bro and sis all the time, every day, entertain themselves. Like the twins, more so, if it wasn't for Tommy and Chucky, they practically entertained themselves.
Yep.
They always find something to entertain themselves. And they were together. Oh, and the reboot got me confused. I was like, Phil and Lil has a dad. What are they doing?
But
Like
bro,
they
what
just they just X them out.
I didn't
How
even
you
bring
X
that
out
shit
their
up.
dad?
I didn't even bring that shit up, bro.
No, that still bothered me on the root. Well, not super bothered me, but it was just more like, how do you X out their dad? Like, where their dad at? Like, they had a whole dad, bro. How do you take their dad out of the equation in the reboot? Like, they had a whole dad out here. Like, nah, that's not what I'm looking for. Like, you can't X out any type of parent in this whole Rugrats reboot at all.
Oh, I sent you a invite,
Yeah,
bro.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. I'm doing it now. And now, as for bullies, it's like, yeah, Angelica is like a lower form of Susie. Like you got both parents, but the parents was not attentive. That was the flaw. Both parents was not attentive. It was just like they had money and time. They got the time, but they always send Angelica off to Auntie D and Stu house. And be like, oh yeah, go hang out with your cousins and have fun and skedaddle and take them home and then the little small times that they did have with their daughter was like, oh, buying her the latest new toy.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, oh, here's your new Cynthia card. Here's your new Cynthia dream house, new Cynthia doll, Cynthia this, that. And it was just kept her content. Like, but she was psychotic because she like only talked to the Cynthia though. He's like, "What do you think, Cynthia?" I'm
I
like,
mean,
"She's
if you
freaking
really,
crazy."
really think about it, though, they actually brought that up, and they were saying that, unfortunately, Susie was like, I mean, not Susie, Cynthia was actually a representation of a friend of hers or a sister or something like that that passed away, and it's just like that's the only thing that she had besides the children. And the children actually were not alive. They were just a figment
Oh
of
yeah,
her imagination.
Oh,
oh
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
The horror stories or the back scenes of what really happened with the Rugrats, or the dark story of the Rugrats, and it was so graphically pinpointing connected that the original Rugrats creator actually gave a reply. It was like, wow, I would have never thought of that. Slash, that was really gruesomely dark. And they actually wasn't even mad at the fact that they literally came up with the whole backstory slash, just really creatively told a darker side of Angelica of like what happened with Tommy and Bill. Tommy was stillborn, and the twins, like fetuses, and like, died, and then Chucky was alive, but really was more worse off than anything. And Susie, like basically Susie had to be there, like as the big sister, keeping it all together for Angelica's sake, because Angelica was in the psychotic breakdown because she was deprived as a kid. She was the only kid around. All the other kids did not really exist, and
You've been
it was like
busy.
she. Oh me?
Yeah,
No,
Yes,
it
you've been
wasn't.
busy.
sorry.
No, no,
While we're
no, I wasn't really busy
No, I'm talking
no,
about
I
your
was gonna
combat
say,
rating.
while we're
because
on
I
that
did the
subject,
upgrades.
another cartoon that we could bring up that actually goes back into it is Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Okay, I didn't really
Oh
follow
yeah,
this show, but go on.
The
oh
reason
yeah,
I
that
say
dark
that
stuff.
is because Ed's
They're
little
all in
sister.
purgatory.
Oh, not even that. Like Ed's little sister, Sarah, she was a bully, and the only person that could actually bully her was the damn Kanker sisters.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
because Kid Sisters really beat her ass. Like they were older than her. It's like there was about that action. Like Sarah was just a loudmouth. Like,
Yeah, but she
but
was
the
also
Kinker
a
was like,
bully because she would always beat other people up, including her brother, and she knew, again, she was a spoiled brat. She knew she could get away with it because her parents wouldn't do anything. Her mom clearly liked Sarah more than Ed, and their father from like basically little bits and pieces that we heard about Ed just really didn't give a damn.
So
no,
let me make sure I know this one.
nope.
This is the one with the green jacket that was tall, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
that was him. So he had a younger sister named Sarah who was extremely spoiled by her mother, which is why the whole thing, which is why her classic well known line is
I'm gonna get mom. I'm gonna
yeah,
get
I'm
mom.
telling mom. Exactly, because she knows that her mom spoils her and
And Ed was
favors
afraid of his mom.
exactly, and she favorited Sarah over Ed, and her father just didn't give a damn. So it was the fact that she knew that she was able to basically bully her older brother.
And get away with it.
Exactly.
And then for Double D, the one with the hat, it was like his parents were really wasn't around and always gave him chores to do, but he was always the goody two shoe kid. So it was like, but deep down, he was just more depressed than anything because it's like, yeah, mom and dad wasn't really home, but he
Yeah.
always was expected to keep a
Excuse
tidy
me for one
house
second.
at all
Excuse me
times.
for 1 second, bro. Didn't we beat this part already?
Yeah, I was forgot to mention that the mission that you picked, like we beat it already.
All right. So let's go back.
Also, Eddie's brother, which I don't know if you've seen the
Oh, I
actual
did. Oh, I
series
definitely did. I saw
finale.
the movie. Brother
Yeah,
was a jerk. Was cast
exactly.
out of the family, but he moved out. He was older to move out,
And
and
he
Eddie
turned
loved
out
his older brother.
it wasn't even about the fact that he loved his older brother. It was the fact that he basically feared his older brother, and but like the only thing he could get out of his little brother is making up all of these things so that way it can make him seem better in other people's seem better in other people's eyes because he never really had that. Because
Because no one else never saw his older brother.
exactly, like
Where?
his
How did
yeah,
he get
like they
out?
basically knew about stuff through like rumors and whatnot. So yeah, that's like a really big. So like, so then that goes back to like a lot of the times where a lot of people's first bullies are actually their family members.
That's very true. Bro, get us out of this. How do we get out of this mission?
So, go to, well, press start, go to settings, and scroll down to abandoned mission.
Go. Abandoned mission. There we go. I found it.
So it's just like now there's like a running joke in the spiritual community that
Yeah.
that your tarot cards and your oracle cards will bully you almost as much as your mother did. And there's a lot of truth to that last part because, yeah, your parents will end up being your first bullies.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the bully is basically like taking the issues they have on their parents out on other people. It's not right.
One parental bullying statement is the parent that will be on the phone and talk to them like, "Oh, you won't believe these kids today," or like basically telling your whole deepest family. They'll tell you like, "Oh, keep family shit family," but then you see your mom and your dad on the phone, gossiping and telling all your business and where you messed up to other people you may not even know, or work friends, or
Excuse me, question. We passed mission 3, right?
oh yeah, we passed it.
So
Yeah,
why
we're
is it?
on
Where's the other
yeah, we're
one?
on Giants of the Earth.
So why the hell is it not working?
No, priority 1 is the first story mission, so we passed mission 3. We're on like the second.
I know we were on Giants in the Earth, and I tried to go there, and it's saying complete the previous campaign to unlock, but we unlocked it.
Okay, hold on. Let me invite you.
I'm sorry, guys. It's just Robert and I are playing as we're talking.
What game are you playing?
We're playing Aliens.
Aliens.
Fire early.
When I brought up the thing about scrying yesterday.
Yeah. I remember this.
Okay. But yeah, the thing is, yeah, a lot of kids, their first bullies are actually their parents, and the kids will, and like that's why I'm like, if I hear about a kid bullying someone, because I actually had this issue with my cousin, because I found out that he was basically, when he was in the 5th grade, he was basically bullying other kids and just acting out in school. And it's because he had anger issues at home dealing because of his ain't shit father. And I can say his ain't shit father because that is my uncle. I love my cousins, but I hate their father.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because of issues he had with his dad. And a lot of bullies will have issues at home for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times it's some type of neglect, and it'll make your child very, very angry, and they won't know how to express that anger.
I'll let you do it, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Bro, it's not working on my end either. You definitely did not beat the mission. I'm like, that's kind of weird because I got it, but you
But
don't
we
have
beat the mission. Excuse me, Suki. I thought we beat the mission together.
We did. It shows up on mine, but I don't know why it's not showing up for yours because it says mission or difficulty not unlocked for all team members. So that means you still don't have. Like that's BS because we both beat the mission together. Like, okay, you know what? All right, we're gonna try to run mission 3 again so you can unlock the part 2 mission of the next mission. This is.
Trust me, I understand. Remember, I play video games too, so I know how it is.
Yeah, we were playing this game, and it's just like, oh, F you. I'm downloading the PS5 version because when I bought the game and I went to pick up the game, for whatever reason, it gave me a PS4 version instead of the PS5 version. Now the PS5 version is available, so coño.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let it update now, and then we could try it. And in the meantime, please, Suki, continue. Parents being
Yeah,
the ones.
yeah. A parent will be their child's first bully, and they will refuse to acknowledge that for some unapparent reason.
Hmm.
And it's either because they don't realize they're being bullies to their child. Don't exactly know how, but they won't realize it, or like they're either unable to or unwilling
I
to
think it's
realize
more
that.
so they don't care. To be honest with you, they don't care. They know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, sounds about right.
I'm sorry to
But
make it sound so blunt, but that's what it is.
no, you have every right to make it sound blunt because a lot of the times they really don't care, and it's not right. And I'm just like, if you're gonna treat and you know what's the crazy thing? Like a lot of parents will have children just to have something that they feel like they have control over, and then that child will turn around and become a bully
Hmm.
to other people like kids because they need to have something they feel like they have control over because someone else has control over them. Like as a
Hmm.
parent, you don't have control over your children. You
Hmm.
have a say so, of course, because they are your child, but you don't control every aspect of their life.
Hmm. Deidre, how are you feeling about all of this? If you're still there.
Sure.
Deidre, you
We can't
sound
really hear you, darling.
you sound very, very muffled. Um,
I think she's there, but like she probably just needs to get some, like she probably just needs to like adjust her mic or something.
hmm. Okay, she's writing. She's writing. What is she writing? Alright, let's see.
So, uh,
Okay, no problem.
you need just
She's gonna get off for a
okay.
moment, and then she's gonna come back on.
Yeah, just gonna jump out and jump back in. Yeah, tech issues are the worst. But yeah, like you said, a lot of them just don't care because they just want something to have control over in the first place, and that's what bullying is pretty much about. Just control and being able to take someone's anger out on someone. And a lot of these kids, like, they feel like they need to have control over something because of whatever is going on in their mind, or because they feel like they need attention, or something around, or like something along those lines.
Okay. Deidre, did you hear us now?
Bro, your game is still loading.
I gotta do all the BS now. Like literally,
Okay.
I gotta do all the crap again.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. But yeah, so it's like parents do really truthfully be their kids' first bully from like ass whooping, beatings, spreading
Uh,
business, like, and all the intimidation tactics, bad parental skills, I'll brought you into this world, I'll take you out. This is a whole line
I
of like,
hate that line so much, and I made the vow to never even think to use that line on my children.
so it's like parents, little to like not announced to them. It's like the things you say and do leave the disastrous effects, and seeing like other people watching your kids mirror and mimic what you do, the toxic negative shit that you do. They mirror that because I always call kids like parents because they mimic what they see and do here. So like one minute you say one cuss word, then they're saying it like 20 million times. You're like ass, and then it's like you try to tell them to stop it. It's fun to them, but then or you traumatize them to where they're gonna inflict it onto other people because it's like, oh, if my parents it's okay to do it to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this to everybody else because it's happening to me.
Yeah,
Like,
back to what I was saying before about you seeing something at home, and then you're like, well, that's how it is, so I guess that's how I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's honestly really sad.
It is. It is.
It's
I
really
just
sad. That's why it's just like I will never, of course, condone bullying like at all. But at the same time, there's still a piece of me like that feels bad for these kids because I'm just like, yo, what is going on at home with you that you feel like you gotta act like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because it'll be like the only way that they can act out because the parents is not gonna be forthcoming to put their kids in therapy or have someone to talk it out with, or until like you dive down and dig deep on like asking why and giving this kid the space to talk and really break them down psychologically to pick their brain as to like what led you to do this.
you know
Uh,
why? That's you know why? Because again, parents don't want to admit where and when they screwed up.
That's true.
They will
oh,
never
of
want to
course, never,
admit that they screwed up. They don't want to feel like
never,
a bad
ever,
parent. They don't want to feel like
ever.
exactly. They don't want to feel like a quote unquote bad parent. And I'm just like the fact that you
Or
are
they hit you with this offensive statement like, "Oh, I raised my kid 24/7. What do you know about parenting my kid?" Or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, they're hyper defensive about it too.
because they know that they screwed up and they don't like getting called out on it. Now, mind you, I don't have any children yet, but I've been around children long enough. One, because out of all of my cousins, I'm the second oldest. And the oldest cousin, like on my father's side, because like of basically how I grew up. I'm the second oldest out of all of my like first cousins. And the one that is basically older than me is only older than me by 1 year. So, and the rest of them are basically like right now the oldest out of the younger ones is 14. So I've watched them grow up, and I basically stepped in and helped them. I basically stepped in and helped them and helped my grandmother raise them. So I still have like that parental mindset when it comes to children. And not for nothing, you don't have to be a parent to know how to raise freaking kids. Or you know, like you just have to have empathy, emotional intelligence, and just a level of freaking common sense.
Common sense is not common.
Oh, I know. Listen, I worked retail for 7 years. You ain't gotta tell me that.
Huh. You'll be
Like,
surprised. Scary, actually.
oh yeah, I know. But the fact of the matter is, the whole, oh, what do you know about parents? Or come back to me when you actually have a child. And I'm just like, I don't have to have my own child to know that you suck at raising yours.
You gotta start from scratch, bro.
Like, how
And
far
on,
from scratch?
and on top of that, the thing is, what a lot of people seem to like not realize is that we were somebody's child once too. So we know how to put ourselves in these. A lot of us know how to put ourselves in these other kids' shoes, and we know that something is, and that's how we'll be able to tell that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And those, like the parents that bully their own kids, They will never out and out admit that they bully their own kids because let's keep it real. A
Hmm.
lot of parents don't really like their kids, but I digress. But yeah, a lot of these bully kids have a lot of stuff going on at home, which is why it's like I'm very very zero tolerance for bullying,
Hmm.
but at the same time, there's also in me that's just like, yo, what's going on at home that you feel like you gotta act out like that?
Yeah, I mean, that thing that you made mention to about having the parents being the bullies, you know, that does definitely play a factor because you'll have the kids at home, the kids being terrorized at home, and it's just like, okay, where am I supposed to go? I go to school, I do what I gotta do in school, and then I come back home and I'm going through the same bullshit. So I'll go to grandma's house, I'll go to daddy's house. Wait, daddy might have this person, that person there, and it might be some bullshit. So what am I supposed to do now? I have no form of sanctuary whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of like it's pretty heart wrenching because
Mm.
it's either the kid is going through some type of abuse or neglect, or
Mm-hmm.
they're just like so spoiled that they feel like they can do whatever they want both in and out of the home and
Mm-hmm.
not suffer any consequences. And either way, regardless of what side of the spoon you're on, you're as a parent, you still screwed up. You still
Yes.
screwed up raising your child by doing whichever one you decide to do, whether it be spoiling them and not disciplining them correctly,
Mm-hmm.
or just out and out being controlling or abusive or neglectful one way or another.
Mm-hmm. And
Because, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, Deidre, if you have anything. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bionic had to leave. No problem.
Fire team, this is a rescue mission.
Yes,
You're boarding
hey,
the
darling.
Tonga, a derelict
Right.
orbital
But
refinery.
I think a lot of the
Ingress is via
time,
the forward airlock.
parents
You'll
forget
locate,
that their
secure, and
children are people.
evac Dr. Tim
Of
Honeycutt,
course.
a Weyland-Yutani scientist.
Because they look at their child as something that they made and not someone that they birthed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they don't, because of that, they don't treat their children as people, just as a reflection of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't fully, so they don't fully acknowledge the effect that they're having on their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really don't. It's either that or they don't understand or they refuse to understand because again, no parent wants to be told that they suck at raising children.
I think that they don't care, honestly and truly. You know what? Because I know one person in particular, and their parent would be one type of way when they're around their friends or whatever, and portraying that they are the best thing since sliced bread. And when it comes down to it, and you have the parent and the child is not getting the adequate amount of attention, love, whatever you want to call it. And this individual will just treat their child like crap, and it's just like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Throughout this whole thing, I'm talking about one particular individual. I'm not going to make the name to this individual, but
No,
this
I understand.
person went through hell as a kid, and this is by their own individual parent. You know, the parents were not together, and they had BS that they had to deal with on both sides. So, at what point, what do you do as the kid? What do you do? You just sit there and just accept it for what it is and hope for the best. But I too digress.
No, I mean, it's just so. It's actually really sad.
Hmm.
Like, again, no one should have to go through that. No one should feel like no child should feel like they have to pro, um, project their anger out onto another kid at school.
Hmm.
Or also, and on the top of that, a lot of, like you said, a lot of kids inherit their bullying from their parents, because not like if they're not doing it to the kids, they're doing it to other people and teaching the kids that this is the way that it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
Because it's just like I just got a voicemail. That's all.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like a lot of, because it's just like, and that's how a lot of racist kids end up happening. Like you'll see mommy and daddy talking smack about somebody because they're of a different race or religion. Like you'll see, it's like little Kyle will see mommy and daddy talking bad about somebody, because talking bad about a woman because she's wearing like her niqab, and she's just like, oh well, they must be bad people because mommy and daddy are talking bad about them, so I get to talk bad about them too, and it'll make them proud of me.
Hmm.
And it's gross, but yeah, a lot of it's basically learned behavior. Children are sponges. Children are young children, they learn a lot quickly,
Yes.
but they also unlearn a lot quickly. So as like the more you behave around that, the more your child absorbs and it becomes a part of them. And they basically act according to what they've seen, what they've learned, and so forth down the line.
Hmm. This is a subject that could go on forever,
Oh yeah.
and it's really no solid solution to it. I mean, you could say, well, let's go and let's have the kids talk to the parents. I mean, the teachers. Let's have the kid address the issue right then and there. Let's have the kid punch the kid in the face, okay? Then where you brought up, whomever brought up bullying at home, you know, the whole your parent being the bully and you having to deal with it throughout the whole thing. I mean, the whole course of the beginning of your life. That's another factor. That's another side of the spectrum that unfortunately should is. I'm grateful that it has been addressed, but it's just like you have so many kids dealing with it. Being 34 years old, having to go through it when I was 6 years old, up until I was in high school, and then hearing that you have kids of today that are still going. It's like a cycle, you know? And it's like the same thing over and over and over again. What they used to make fun of you about, they making this fun about with this kid. It's an ongoing thing. This kid is weird, okay. This kid's a nerd, okay. He's a dork, okay. So the problem is he's smarter than you. That's it. He's smarter than you. He knows something
That's just
more than
not
you do,
boring like you.
and
That
he's
are you
not born.
quote unquote boring.
Hmm.
Exactly.
He's into this, he's into that. Meanwhile, you're into sports. There's nothing wrong with sports, but you're into sports. He's into all these other different kinds of things. He's actually into his schoolwork. He gets straight A's all the time. Dork. What? Just because he's applying himself and you don't see the necessity to, he's a dork. So embrace. What I'm basically saying is, if you are one, embrace it. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, just be proud of who and what you are. Miss Deidre, do you have anything to add? Because I know you, Suki, you have to leave soon.
Well, I have about another hour, so
Mm,
I have anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. And especially since we're going to talk about like blurred culture, then, and of course that ties into that ties into bullying for multiple reasons, because I also said that um bullying can happen in your own community for things like you said, somebody being a dork or being a nerd and so forth down the line.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, because that can and does happen. A lot of your bullies will be your own people of your own race.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna be give me somebody. I'm gonna dress up as Ash Ketchum. Is that a problem? No, right? It's not. So why is
Absolutely.
it? So why is it that when I decide to be Ash Ketchum or I decide to be Vegeta, I get told, "Oh my God, you're you're not you're not white. Why are you?"
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You know where I'm going with this, and
So,
it's
as
something.
someone who's been cosplaying for 7 years, I can literally go on for I can go on for hours about that.
You
And
know.
I do mean hours. Okay?
Mm-hmm. And
I can
it's
go on for
just so
hours.
annoying. It's so annoying. I remember I was in college. I decided to dress up as Trunks for a party, and
Nice.
I was told, oh,
Trunks is in black.
Trunks is in black. I'm like,
He ain't what hell
but he's
he's
not white either.
one he's barely human.
Yeah, he's actually an alien, from
But I'm
planet
saying
Vegeta.
as if he's not half saying, get out of here.
And it's just like,
And it's the same thing with like Raven from Teen Titans.
mm-hmm,
Nothing about her is human. You're like, oh, you're gonna paint your skin white? Then you like, oh, you're gonna paint your skin white, but if I paint my skin black to be Tiana or something, that is racist. First of all, yes, it is racist. Second, her skin is gray, not white.
mm-hmm,
Third, she's not even human. She's half demon. She's not even from this dimension.
mm-hmm.
So why are you even going off about it? You're just looking for a reason to be a racist bully.
That's true. That's true. Deidre, I know you are a cosplayer also. Do you have any insight also? No.
People in general, they have people just like trying to bring everybody else around them down.
Mm-hmm.
So so they'll always try to find a reason to try and make somebody feel small.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the or or like or size or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There, they're always gonna try to find something to criticize. Well, for me specifically, it's a thing that's always happened,
Mm-hmm.
but I was lucky enough to have family who um who addressed potential issues with that when I was small.
Mm-hmm.
So the so I never had the same it never had the same effect on me as it had on other people,
Mm-hmm.
which I was really lucky about. But the amount of ridiculous commentary that you get while you just like going around trying to live your life is
You're breaking up, darling.
Aren't I always? The stream with me. On a related note, who's this? What's this Princess Rock thing that keeps like putting these various links in your chat
I beg your pardon?
on your Twitch stream?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a Twitch bot.
Which one? The pretzel thingy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's music.
Yeah, they'll have bots that'll put like music in the background and stuff like that, as long as it's like non-copyrighted or.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was like, what the heck is this? And why does it keep putting
No, I have bots on my stream as well. So like once I saw that, I'm just like, oh, he must have just put a bot. Like he must have just put a bot in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little background music.
Now, mind you, you are definitely right about what you said, D. And another thing is, if it's not the racist outside of the Black community, it's a good handful of the, like, for lack of a better term, the normies in the Black community that also got something to say.
Mm-hmm. You're not cool. You're weird. You're
not Black. Like, yo, you're Black. Why are you doing all this stuff?
Why are you talking like that? That's not talking Black. You're talking like a weirdo. Something's wrong with you.
Like a white person, and I'm just like, okay, as if black people are a monolith to begin. As if Black people are a monolith to begin with, and it's just like, oh, especially if you listen to rock music, like, why are you listening to white people music? Even though Black people started rock and roll in the first place, but I digress. So it's
the thing with that always bugged me is the whole, is that your interpretation of what being Black is?
Exactly. So it's just like Black people are supposed to only walk around with like wearing certain clothes or having certain hairstyles, or wearing their clothes a certain way, only listening to certain types of music, watching some type of shows. Like, not every Black girl is gonna watch shows like Love and Hip Hop. I actually hate Love and Hip Hop.
Oh my God, it's so annoying.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna sit home watching Love and Hip Hop or Bad Girls Club or Real Housewives of Tuskegee or whatever the hell. Like, that's just not me. I will be in my house either watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or I will watch My Hero Academia, or I will watch like Orin High School Host Club. I will watch my anime. I will watch my comic-based shows. I will watch stuff like that. Though that's where I feel comfortable, and that's what I like. And for some reason, because I'm not watching all of the stereotypical Black shows that actually paint Black people in a negative light, but that's a whole nother can of worms to open. Because I'm not doing that, because I'm not watching all of that, all of a sudden, like, I'm not Black enough for the Black community. Or because I walk around like wearing like chokers and cat ears and Black makeup, and like dark makeup and a pair of demonias or whatever, then I'm like, I don't dress like a Black person, and I'm just like, okay, so because I have a different aesthetic from you, the amount of melanin that's in my skin means absolutely nothing? Like, or the fact that I'm walking around with like an anime t-shirt or a video game t-shirt, or I have like anime buttons on my book bag, the fact that I am clearly brown skinned means nothing to you. Like, or the fact that I'm in cosplay.